Epica, The Phantom Agony, 9 tracks, 51 minutes, the debut studio album from the Dutch 6-piece, released June 2003 by Transmission. Produced by Sasha Paeth, recorded at Gate Studio in Germany. 3 singles were released: The Phantom Agony, Feint and Cry for the Moon. This is the first album done by Mark Jansen, after his departure from After Forever, and continues his collection of songs that make up The Embrace That Smothers. This collection of songs is themed around the dangers of organised religion, this one, so go for it while the weather kicks in on us.
Yeah. Well, as much as I'm a fan of, shit candy organised religion, I'm not a big fan of symphonic metal, and I'm certainly not a big fan of operatic vocal. I really struggled with this. The vocals were basically cutting me in half for 54 minutes straight, and it hurt. If I'm ever on a terror watch list and ASIO or whatever want to get information out of me, don't worry about waterboarding. Make me listen to this for a couple of days and I'll tell you whatever the hell you want to know.
Dave's going to kill you.
I appreciate the skill in singing like this, but I can't do it. I was really trying, and look, I'm sure I'm going to upset someone in this review. Dave, evidently.
Mm-hmm. Dave loves this stuff. He is a big penchant for it. Yeah.
But I found it really hard to review this subjectively because I was really battling to get through it. I didn't want to listen to it. Cleverly composed. Yeah, the musical movement is really well done. The guitars aren't loud enough in this mix at all. It's just so far back. When the growl vocal kicks in, compared to everything else, it is so out of place that I laughed. And I'm like, I'm sure this is not what they were going for.
No.
I really hope there are no Epica fans watching out there. I'm really sorry.
Oh, I know there are a few, but anyway.
Yeah, this album was torture for me. I gave it 2 out of 10 just because I appreciate how difficult it would have been to do. And that's it. The highlight was when it finished.
Oh. Okay, here we go. I thought I was going to be bad. This is operatic symphonic metal with a bit of darkness about it. It's very clinically produced. Everything sounds good, very clean, but it probably lacks a bit of punch for mine. Everything sounds really good. It's well captured, but it could use more depth overall in the mix as well. It's just this fucking, I don't know. It's weird to describe the sound.
It's plain. It's
just
weird.
It's like there's a plank of sound, not a wall. It's a plank of sound. Maybe
slapped in the face with splintered balsa wood.
Maybe Dave will bring it next time with him, I guess. We'll add that to the gag reel. Everything, for something like this, it should be really grand in its presentation. Yeah. For something like this, it should be big and grand. I found that lacking on this. It sounds good. It's just good, though. It just sounds good. They could have gone huge, and they didn't. They missed the mark there. For the record, I get what they're doing with the whole Beauty and the Beast thing on this, between the growling and the operatic vocals, but the growls don't do anything for me on this at all. You had
the same problem I did, obviously.
They are there, in my opinion, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
They honestly don't add anything to the record whatsoever. That said, though, I wonder how much more boring the listen would have been if they weren't there. I don't know.
You got a laugh out of me. I guess I'd change my mood.
The flip side to that, though, is Simone Simons has a beautiful voice. She has a lovely voice herself. But I do feel personally, when you have a band name like Epica, an album titled The Phantom Agony, for all of that, when you pick up the album and you go Epica, The Phantom Agony, and you put it on, you're going, They just missed the mark. It could have been huge, but it just wasn't. I want to go through this with a lyric sheet to take in more of the weight that it has lyrically, because sonically I'm not feeling it. So I want to know if they paid more attention to the lyrics than the overall sound, and maybe that's where that got lost in translation. I don't know.
You can do that and get back to me.
No, I'm sure Dave will tell us all about it.
I'm not doing it.
The writing and the performances, all that sort of stuff is very well done. It's got great composition and the use of recurring themes across the album as well. It's got good track order and it flows. It just doesn't cut through. There's an orchestra and a choir on this, but it should sound bigger than it does because of those facets alone. It's just simply too nice with some growls thrown in as a bit of a here you go. It's what it feels like to me. I'm sure live would be a very different experience, and from memory, when we review work of theirs in the past, there has been live tracks I've heard to, and I liked those a lot more, and I think because you get the big sound out of the live setting. the thing is, with my musical background from my childhood, and this sort of stuff should be right up my alley, the whole classical vocal stuff. But that might actually work against it from me in this case, because I know what it's supposed to be like, and it doesn't cut it for me. It's just clinical, neat. That's it. It doesn't do the concept and the talent justice in the way it's presented overall. Ditch the growls; they add nothing at all. I don't like growling for the sake of it. If it has weight and impact and it makes you feel their wrath, then I'm great with it. But this lacks any of that. Nice little uses of samples and bits like that here and there. There's some good emotive stuff on here, and that is good. I am being harsh with my review, but I've run into this a few times with bands in this area, so for me this is a consistent point of view I found over the years of doing this, that I found a lot of bands in the same boat of this style of music. It's just something that I can honestly take or leave. I'll listen to it, but not going out of my way for it, kind of a thing. And I did struggle on repeat listens of this record. For me, it does drag a bit, but there are some really cool moments where different flavours are used. There's some good stuff overall, but not one I'm going to be in a hurry to revisit. 6.5 out of 10. Sensorium, Illusive, Consensus, and Feint. So check it out for yourselves and let us know what you think.